Human genealogy was changed forever in August 1856, when Friedrich Wilhelm Beckershoff noticed ancient bones among a pile of debris removed from his cave in the Neanderthal Valley, Germany. Thinking that the remains belonged to an extinct cave bear, he contacted the fossil enthusiast Johann Karl Fuhlrott. In total, there were 16 bone fragments, including pieces of skull, rib bones, femora, and arm bones. After centuries of scientific debate, today we know. Those bones didn't belong to a cave bear, but to our prehistoric current cousins, who were much more sophisticated than we give them credit for. Sparsely populating Eurasia from the Middle to Late Pleistocene, Neanderthals exhibited many features we consider to be human. They made tools, built complex shelters, likely buried fellow band members, and perhaps treated illnesses with medicinal plants. There's even evidence of seafaring using reed boats, as Neanderthal artifacts are found in several Mediterranean islands. Neanderthals were slightly shorter than modern humans, with males averaging 5 feet 5 inches, and females 5 feet in height. However, they had a much more robust build, which helped them
wage wars against humans in disputes for land and resources.
Some even argue that they practiced religion, or at least engaged in some sort of cult behavior. For example, in 1987, in Rees Cave in Romania, archaeologists found 4 juvenile bear skulls arranged in a cross shape. It doesn't prove anything, but it makes us ask, did Neanderthals know of sacred geometry? Another example from Romania can be found in Zare Cave, where archaeologists found 2 cave bear skulls placed back-to-back oriented on the east-west axis. These skulls were arranged next to a large limestone slab covered in a thin layer of charcoal deposits. Was the cave a hallowed ground housing a fire-kindling altar, paying respect to a deity? That's just speculation.
What's not a speculation, however, is that Bicky Bin was the first and only Neanderthal king the world has ever seen. He united the warring cave bear and golden eagle bands together into the first ever Neanderthal sovereign state, before getting baptized by Pope Gregory IX in 1236 and receiving the crown. It marked the start of the Great Neanderthal Kingdom, which lasted from 1236 to 1326. Unlike most other Christian leaders of the time, he didn't persecute pagans. Instead, Bicky Bin supported cave bear and golden eagle cults, erecting new shrines for their followers in newly occupied territories. Such a progressive attitude towards state religion allowed Bicky Bin to easily cause revolts in states led by Homo sapiens, which heavily utilized Neanderthal manpower in farms.
Another possible Neanderthal cult was the so-called cult of the sunbird, which is proposed from tool marks found on golden eagle remains. It suggests that Neanderthals intentionally captured golden eagles to harvest their feathers and talons that were later used for ritual purposes, including clothing adornment and talisman making. Such practices are also found in some modern-day cultures around the world. For example, many tribes in North America regard golden eagle as sacred, as the messenger of the Creator. In the
world before matter, the Skyfather glided and the Earth Mother roamed through the nothingness for the entire eternity until they colossally collided. The impact of their intersection inevitably birthed the very fabric of space and time. Only then, the Skyfather and the Earth Mother understood their profound solitude. The Earth Mother cupped her hands, creating the Earth, and wept, filling it with overflowing oceans and rushing rivers. The Skyfather lovingly tore a piece of space fabric and laid it on Mother Earth, creating firmament of the sky and preserving her beauty and purity. The droplets of sweat from Mother Earth's palms rose from the depths of the oceans, creating the first Neanderthals. The Skyfather and the Earth Mother knew that their real appearance was too divine for their children to withstand. To greet their birth, the Skyfather took the form of the golden eagle and the Earth Mother of the cave bear.
Another fascinating aspect of the Great Neanderthal Kingdom is Bicky Bin's focus on preserving his people's culture in writing. He ordered the high shamans of both major cults to come together and write an epic poem describing their creation myth, and a manuscript detailing all aspects of Neanderthal culture, including cuisine, clothing, and architecture. Not without sprinkles of mythology, as it includes retellings of legendary battles between Neanderthal bands and choreos, so-called wolf bands. The manuscript also mentions a sacrificial ritual that high shamans would perform before important battles. It involved capturing a golden eagle or a cave bear, depending on the band, and releasing it onto a naked virgin woman, allowing the beast to feast on the living flesh of their fellow bloodkin. Neanderthals believed that such sacrifice would bless warriors with power and fortune on the battlefield. This brutal custom survived up until
the Upper Paleolithic. About 50,000 years ago, the Neanderthal population started to dwindle and was slowly replaced by modern humans in most of Europe. Today, many questions remain unanswered. Did our Homo sapiens ancestors consider them brothers, enemies, or...
The target of Nazi political party, which seized power in 1933, and soon enough started persecuting political enemies and ethnic minorities, including Jews, Romanis, and Neanderthals. People deemed dangerous or degenerate were imprisoned in concentration camps scattered across Nazi-occupied Europe. In these establishments, prisoners wore badges of shame as a form of identification. Neanderthals wore black triangles, designated for what was considered the asocial group, including the mentally ill, vagrants, and prostitutes. Nazis regarded Neanderthals as subhuman, but valued them as slave workers. While most prisoners that were fit for work labored from dawn till dusk, Neanderthal physical strength made them subject to extreme abuse. Most were worked to death in quarries, forests, and brick houses. According to some sources, Neanderthals were not only used as a workforce, but as a resource. Thick Neanderthal skin was used as leather for shoes worn by prison personnel, and viscous fat for soap. And as many as 1 million Neanderthals, or over 90% of all Neanderthal population in Nazi-occupied Europe, were imprisoned in such camps. Out of those, over 95% died. Neanderthals never recovered from this disaster. Today, the surviving Neanderthal populations are living in dozens of reservations found in Europe, including the Sunbird Reservation, the Cave Bear Reservation, and Neanderthalheim. Local government subsidiaries help Neanderthals develop self-sustaining communities and increase literacy rates. Despite that, efforts of integrating Neanderthals into the Homo sapiens population are lacking, and trans-species marriage is still illegal in every country of the world.
You know everything about Neanderthals, an extinct species of archaic humans